All right, here we are in another episode of What's in the Box. Is it a severed head this time? No, it's some wires. Where'd everything go? This early Bronco has a FiTech EFI system that has been working great for almost 10 years. And recently we've come across a problem where it's stalling and leaving us on the side of the road. So over the last year, we've kind of not been driving it as much because it's been really intermittent, really weird, hard to figure out when it's gonna happen. It's unpredictable. So I started going through the systems. I've replaced the fuel pressure regulator. I've replaced the O2 sensor. I took a look at the TPS sensor. I did not file my TPS reports, and I did get rid of the printer. That is a dumbass joke. Anyway, trying to figure out what is going on with this thing. It could be the MSD6AL box is getting old and frying out. It could be that the ECU inside the FiTech system is starting to fritz out. The rest of the sensors I've looked at on the handheld unit, everything looks good. And like I said, this system has been running great for 10 years. That's one of those opportunities to just change the system entirely, right? I was just talking to my buddy Bandy Graham over here, and he told me a really interesting thing. He said, if this system on this truck is 10 years old, there's probably a lot of advances that they've come up with in throttle body EFI technology. So we are gonna take this FiTech system and swap it out for the Holley Sniper EFI system. I've had great success with the Holley Sniper 1 on my 390 F100, which really became a monster once I put that on there. It ran great, had such good manners, would start up every time, and just, I mean, that thing ran like a top. It was amazing. So good experience with Holley Sniper 1. I think we're gonna even have better experience with Holley Sniper 2 system that we're gonna put in place of this FiTech. That was a long-winded segue into let's unbox this new system. I got this giant box from Summit. Let's see what's inside. The way these kits come now, they come with the distributor, with a coil, with like a Hyperspark. I guess it's a Hyperspark is their kind of capacitive discharge system. But all this stuff is meant to talk to one another and not interrupt each other, which is a good thing in EFI social settings, I suppose. Distributor. This has a decent distributor in it. It's an MSD, so it's not really a big thing that I'd need to change. However, with that ECU controlling the timing, I know it is meant to talk to this, and this package deal really is kind of a cool thing. Let's check out what's in this box first. Let's open this guy. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Distributor is very similar to the MSD. This is a melanized gear, so it should work with a roller cam. If anybody wants to argue about that, tell me in the comments before I ruin my cam. I'm going to double check and make sure, and if not, I can pull the gear from this MSD billet distributor, which I believe probably has the same size drive shaft. Really cool setup. Having all these matched components that are meant to work together should be very beneficial. One of the things I was thinking, it's like, all right, what's the next component am I gonna change on this? And one of them was, well, I probably should try a new distributor and see if that's the issue. And this whole kit comes with the distributor. So I was like, look, that was one of the reasons I started leaning into buying this whole new setup. All right, let's check out this box. What's in this box? This box says some wires, and all this stuff has nice connectors on it, which is really cool. I think we're gonna be doing a little of wiring. Big ol' EFI Hyperspark coil setup, and that's the connector for that. This little mini box here, supposedly this is going to replace our MSD box. So this will probably go in the spot where I have the MSD box sitting. It's a lot smaller, a lot more compact, but I'm excited. Little tiny sniper box. This system has been running for us for like 10 years or so, almost 10 years. I want this to work and not worry about it, which is another big reason I decided to just go for broke and just change the whole system out. All right, so the big box. Let's see. Yeah, main wiring harness with the connectors on it, which is really cool. Instruction manuals, we're not gonna need that, but we will totally need the gasket. I was wondering about this O2 sensor because during my troubleshooting shenanigans with this truck, I literally just put a brand new Bosch O2 sensor on it. There's your O2 sensor with the connector, but this has the smaller connector setup on it. So O2 sensor straps, which you can weld that bung hole on your exhaust system. That is the technical term. And your O2 sensor goes in there. Coolant temp sensor. We may go ahead and change that out. I did not do that on this one, but the coolant temp sensor was reading correctly. So I can't imagine that was causing our issues. Sniper TV right here. Comes with a little iPad. Do all your tunes on it. And I believe there's also, let's see if there is one on this one. Yeah, the SD card slot. Call that one dude in Australia who tunes badass Fords, and you ask for the custom sniper tune for your Ford. You'll put that in that SD card slot. Save your tunes. That's where you save your data logs and all that fun stuff too. And this system has a really cool feature, which is a power distribution module. And the way that power distribution module is set up is it has all the wiring you need in one little box. So we're not having to hook a ton of stuff to the battery, which is really nice because we'll be able to clean this battery connectivity up that I have going on here. This is this power distribution center. What made them start doing this is people were having terrible problems with wiring these systems up. This is probably cheap insurance for Holley to give people fresh feeds from the battery, because that was always an issue with that kind of interference issue that these systems were having on some older vehicles. This gives you like a clear diagram of all the stuff, you know, very plug and play. It's a great way for Holley to set up their systems and make them a lot more user-friendly. It also should keep some people from having to call tech support. I had some stumbling, I had some growing pains on my last Holley Sniper install, but ultimately it turned out really great. The last box in this whole shebang is 4-banger carburetor. Not a carburetor at all this time. 4-barrel throttle body system with a bunch of wires and fuel ports. And one of the big issues on the original Sniper was throttle input. The shaft on it was so short that it made the throttle tip in so fast that the EFI would just try to compensate. Like my old truck, like it would just start burning tires at every red light, and people were like thinking I wanted to race, and I did not want to race. I just wanted to get from A to B. So first gear was always a little iffy, but what fixed that was extending the length of this throttle lever here. They re-engineered this with that issue in mind and made this play a little longer. But yeah, it was scary. But it also showed me just how powerful this system could be when tuned correctly. It looks like what they've done is they have put the ECU opposite the throttle linkage, which is over here on the left side. And they did also redesign the float bowls to look kind of like classic 4150 style float bowls. The other thing they did was put the fuel send and return on the 4150 side of the world here. Maybe put some elbows in that to get it set up correctly, because this system, everything comes straight in and out the back. So we might have to go to a fuel pressure regulator and then into the system. We'll see what we need to do. At any rate, the next video we're gonna do is we're gonna take this FiTech system off, and we are gonna put this Holley Sniper 2 system on and see how it runs. I think this might be the only video that I know of it's actually going from FiTech to Sniper 2 anyway, so I felt like this was kind of a cool hole in the market that we could explore together.